Capricorn, 10th sign of the zodiac. They say it is the most reserved of the zodiac. But that depends on how the planets are scattered through here. Capricorn points to the most difficult things. Capricorn, the sign, points to things that give us honor and the things we need to respect. But generally, Capricorn represents self-preservation, self-restraint, self-discipline. Capricorns have Aquarius in the place of finances. So where Capricorn represents corporation, they rely on groups of people to execute whatever Capricorn is trying to get done, right? Whatever objective Capricorn is trying to reach. But when we're talking about individuals, we're talking about the ability to present industry and to plan and get things done. These people rely on other people heavily to get the execution of their plans afoot. On an individual basis, because Aquarius points to our intuitive side, Capricorns are called to develop their intuitive mental faculty when it comes to finances, economy, and survival provision. They have Pisces in the third place. Capricorn represents planning in and of itself. So it requires a visual mind in order to formulate what needs to be done. These people have heavily imagination loaded, all right? Usually very quiet until they're comfortable or in front of someone with whom they feel comfortable speaking. He's in the fourth place, meaning that they are very capable of living alone. Doesn't mean that they all want to be that way, but they are very capable of it. And when they're trying to put their plans together, they need desperately to be left alone. A lot of them have a nurturing parent who is short-tempered too. Capricorn is the sign, not the person, but is the sign and human quality that causes us to refine our impulses, our anger, and our excitement. And therefore, Capricorn is the sign of self-restraint. Whether the Capricorn is good at restraining themselves or not. Taurus in the fifth place talks about their natural ability to be financiers and their natural ability as budgeters. But on a more social level, they love good food. You want to get a Capricorn's attention? Tell them you're going to cook for them and make sure the cuisine is excellent. They'll show up. A lot of them like having money because Taurus talks about having money. Gemini in the sixth place talks about the natural need to keep their minds flexible and applied to something industrious. Capricorn itself talks about industry and talks about planning. So knowing the ins and outs, the details, and being able to adapt to situations on a regular is what they need to cultivate. When it comes to services rendered or received, they must always remain mindful as to what needs to be done and who best can do it. In the seventh place of partnership and mutual action, we have the sign of emotionality. So when they say that Capricorn is the most unemotional sign of the zodiac, that is true. But does it mean that every Capricorn is unemotional? No, when it comes to their partnership, their loved ones, they are ultra emotional. Leo, in the eighth place, talks about the loyalty they expect from their close personal interactions and the loyalty that they tend to bestow on their partners. But it also speaks to the capacity to find and reserve the inner child. Because Capricorn, in and of itself, talks about hard times. But it also talks about being able to build, right? And in order for that, we need the strength. We need that inner child. And we need the vitality. And to be able to regenerate that is what determines our ability to deal with stress, our ability to deal with strenuous situations. Virgo in the ninth says, I'm always busy. So, you know, this is something that a Capricorn is going to say too. They're going to use that phrase even when they're not. I've been busy. I'm always busy. You know, but busyness is constant, ninth house, work, Virgo. Okay? So the sign of Virgo in the ninth place speaks to Capricorn's ability to get things done. Okay? Because Capricorn is industry. All right? And industry requires a lot of work. In the 10th place, now this is how the boss tries to be always fair with everybody. All right? How Pop is required as a father in the household or as a disciplining parent is required always to be fair in the presiding over situation. You know, Capricorn talks about punishment. When it, in and of itself, when it's talking about things in human nature, not people in particular, it's talking about punishment. And punishment need always be fair in order to be most effective. I mean, that principle is illustrated right there with Libra at the top of Capricorn's chart. Right? Scorpio in the 11th place. The 11th place talks about elders. It also talks about your companions, right? Your associations. So when I say elders, we're talking about aunts and uncles and people that you admire who are older than you, right? Scorpio here is the sign of evolution. These people, Capricorns, look to their associates for means and examples for easy transition. Having Scorpio in the 11th means that they're able to adapt and master in the social environment, right? Sagittarius on the 12th. Don't ask a Capricorn where they're going. Don't ask them how long they're going to be, who they're going with, and when they're coming back, because 9 times out of 10, when they seek to escape a situation, they don't have a clue where they're going, how long they're going to be. All they know is they want to be away from that place, right? And they want to be free to come back at their leisure. They want to be free to go at their leisure without any kind of constraint.